You want to go for a walk? Welcome back. This is the update for Tuesday, the 5th of October. And there was 22 dividend payments again today, the same as yesterday. It added up to a total of €1.47, so I have enough to reinvest the dividends without having to add any more in. So it was mainly ordinary dividends, but there was 2 returns of capital and 1 bonus dividend. There was quite a few first-time payments, and it seems like the majority of the changes have been negative. They've been dropping a little bit. Yeah, it looks like about 6 of them have dropped their dividend, but some of them have only dropped it by 1 pence or 1 cent. So I'll get straight into them. Sorry, this is the list for Tuesday. And also my Gladstone that went in, the order for the new Gladstone stock, and luckily it went in on the way down from a bit of a peak. So when I put my order in, it was up here, but luckily on the way down my order was filled, so I got in here. But I'll probably put the other €1.47. Actually, I will put that in here again, just to see how it does. The majority of my other monthly paying stocks, they tend to have a bit more in them than the average. Because of how much they pay, you need a little bit more in them to receive even a minimal dividend. So I'll throw that in there, and then I'll get into the dividends. The first was Imperial Brands. Ticker symbol is IMB, based in the UK, and it's £15.57 per share at the moment. So it's in the tobacco industry. It's a fast-moving consumer goods company, and it offers a range of cigarettes, fine-cut and smokeless tobaccos, and papers. Its current dividend yield is a nice 8.94%, and it has a £1.90 earnings per share. It's quite a nice dividend. Nice earnings per share and a nice dividend. But they paid an ordinary dividend, and it was for 21.06 pence per share, which is down from the previous 30 pence per share that I've received from them. And they pay a dividend every quarter. So their quarterly profit margin is about 11.5%, and annually is about 4.5%. Quarterly debt to assets is about 85%, and annually is about the same. And its annual cash flow from operating is $3.97 billion, from investing is negative $331 million, and from financing is negative £4.31 billion. Number 2 was Solar Senior Capital. Ticker symbol is SUNS. It's about $15.50 per share at the moment. It's in the miscellaneous financial services industry. It's formerly known as Solar Senior Capital Limited, and it's a closed-end, non-diversified management investment company, and it directly and indirectly invests in senior loans, including first lien, unitranche, and second lien debt instruments. Its current dividend yield is 7.5%. It pays a dividend every month, and this was an ordinary dividend of 8 cents per share, which is the same as the previous that I received. Quarterly profit margin is 56%, and annually is about 44%. Its quarterly debt to assets is 57%, and annually is about 60%. And its annual cash flow from operating is $328.3 million, and from financing is negative $141.4 million. Next is Blackrock Sustainable American. Ticker symbol is BRSA. It's about £1.87 per share, based in the UK. It's another financial sector stock. It's an investment trust engaged in portfolio investment, and it provides a level of income return with capital appreciation over the long term through investment in a diversified portfolio of large cap US equities. Its current dividend yield is 5.13%. It pays a dividend every quarter, and this was an ordinary dividend of 2 pence per share, which is the same as the previous one that I've received. Quarterly profit margin is 107%, and annually is 84%. Quarterly debt to assets is 1.8%, and over the last year is 1.2%. And its annual cash flow from operating is negative 4.62 million, and from financing is 10.92 million pounds. Next is PPL Corporation. Ticker symbol is PPL. $28 per share at the moment. It's in the electric utilities industry, based in the USA. And it delivers electricity to customers in the UK, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, and Virginia. And it delivers natural gas to customers in Kentucky and generates electricity from power plants in Kentucky. Current dividend yield is 5.5%. Pays a dividend every quarter. And this was an ordinary dividend of 35 cents per share, which is the same as the previous one. Its quarterly net income is £19 million, and annually is 1.47 billion, but this is the only bits of information that they give. Its quarterly debt to assets is 59%, and annually is 72%. And its annual cash flow from operating is 2.75 billion, from investing is negative 3.26 billion, and from financing is $386 million. Next is Pennantpark Investment Corporation. Ticker symbol is PNNT. It's about $6.50 per share at the moment, based in the US, and it's another financial sector stock. It's a closed-end, non-diversified investment company, and it's a business development company with objectives to generate both current income and capital appreciation while seeking to preserve capital through debt and equity investments, primarily in the US middle market companies, and they are in the form of senior secured debt, mezzanine debt, and equity investments. Its current dividend yield is 7.38%, but it does have a negative earnings per share at the moment. So it pays a quarterly dividend, and this was an ordinary payment of 10 cents per share, but it's the first one that I've received from them. Quarterly profit margin is a nice 200%, and annually is negative 16%. Quarterly debt to assets is about 49%, and annually is about 53%. And its annual cash flow from operating is negative $129.6 million, and from financing is $95.78 billion. And next is Pennantpark Floating Capital Limited, or Floating Rate Capital Limited. Ticker symbol is PFLT. Trades for about $13 per share at the moment. And I think it's the same as the previous. Preserve Capital seeks to achieve its investment objective by investing primarily in loans bearing variable rates of interest or floating rate loans, and other investments made to the US middle market private companies whose debt is rated below the investment grade. Invests in various sectors, including aerospace and defense, consumer services, high technology industries, healthcare and pharmaceuticals, business, consumer, durable, retail, construction, building, hotels, gaming and leisure, consumer goods, loads, media, broadcasting, subscription, and wholesale. So dividend yield is 8.82%, and it pays a dividend every month. This was an ordinary payment of 8 cents per share, which is the same as the previous one. Quarterly profit margin 70%, and annually is about 19%. Quarterly debt to assets is about 55%, and annually is about 58%. And its annual cash flow from operating is negative 4.94 million, and from financing is negative 909,000. So not looking too good. So next one is Coca-Cola. Ticker symbol is KO. Based in the US, it's about $53 per share at the moment. Very popular dividend stock. And it's in the beverages industry, non-alcoholic beverages. It owns or licenses and markets non-alcoholic beverage brands, primarily sparkling soft drinks, water, enhanced water, sports drinks, juice, dairy, and plant-based beverages, including tea and coffee and energy drinks. Has segments in Europe, the Middle East and Africa, Latin America, North America, the Asia Pacific, global ventures, bottling investments, and corporate. And they actually own Coca-Cola, Diet Coke, Fanta, and Sprite. Products are available in more than 200 countries. So its current dividend yield is 2.97%, and it pays a dividend every quarter. This was an ordinary payment of 35 cents per share, which is down a little bit from the previous, which was 36 cents per share. Quarterly profit margin is 26%, and annually is about 23.5%. Its quarterly debt to assets is 75%, and annually is about 78%. And its annual cash flow from operating is 9.84 billion. From investing is negative 1.48 billion, and from financing is negative $8 billion. The next dividend payer is Trigano. Ticker symbol is TRI. It's a French dividend stock, trades for about €157 at the moment. It's in the recreational products industry. It specializes in the design, manufacturing, and marketing of recreational vehicles and equipment. Its leisure vehicle segment includes such products as motor caravans, camping cars and mobile homes, accessories and spare parts, and it's sold under such brands as Arca, AutoStar and Challenger, among others. The leisure equipment segment comprises trailers, camping equipment such as tents, garden equipment such as on-ground swimming pools, open-air games, barbecues and garden sheds. Current dividend yield is 1.24%, has a very healthy earnings per share. And Trigano pays a dividend once a year. This was an ordinary dividend of €2.35 per share, and it's the first one that I've received from them. Quarterly profit margin is 8.35%, and annually is about 6%. Its quarterly debt to assets is about 48%, and annually is about 43%. And its annual cash flow from operating is €286 million. From investing is negative about €65 million, and from financing is negative €97.3 million. Next is International Business Machines Corporation, also known as IBM. The ticker symbol is IBM. It's about $143 per share at the moment. And it's in the computer services industry of the technology sector. Its company operates in 5 segments, which are cognitive solutions, global business services, technology services and cloud platforms, systems, and global financing. Dividend yield is about 5%, has a very healthy earnings per share at the moment. Pays a dividend every quarter, and this was an ordinary payment of $1.39 per share, which is the same as the previous. Quarterly profit margin is 7.5%, and annually is about 12%. Quarterly debt to assets is 86%, and annually is also the same. And its annual cash flow from operating is $14.77 billion. From investing is negative about $27 billion, and from financing is about $9 billion. Next is Huntington Bank shares. Ticker symbol is HBAN. So it's about $16 per share at the moment. It's in the regional banks industry. It's a bank holding company, and through its subsidiaries, including its bank subsidiary, the company provides commercial and consumer banking services, mortgage banking services, automobile financing, recreational vehicle and marine financing, equipment leasing, investment management, trust services, broker services, insurance programs, and other financial products and services. Its current dividend yield is 3.83%, pays a quarterly dividend, and this was an ordinary payment of 12.75 cents per share, which is down from the previous 13 cents per share. Its quarterly net income is negative $15 million, and annually is $817 million, but that's the only information they give here. Quarterly debt to assets is 88%, and annually is about 89%. And its annual cash flow from operating is $1.32 billion. From investing is negative $8.64 billion, and from financing is $12.74 billion. Next is the Genuine Parts Company. Ticker symbol is GPC. So it's a US stock. It's about $123 per share at the moment. It's in the auto and truck parts industry. So it's a service organization engaged in the distribution of automotive replacement parts, industrial replacement parts, and electrical or electronic materials. Current dividend yield is 2.63%. Pays a quarterly dividend, and this was an ordinary payment of 69 cents per share, and it's the first one I've received from them. Its quarterly profit margin is about 4%, and annually is just very slightly in the negative at 0.18%. Its quarterly debt to assets is 77%, and annually is about 76%. And its annual cash flow from operating is $2.02 billion. From investing is $171.6 million, and from financing is negative $1.51 billion. Next is the First Horizon National Corporation. Ticker symbol is FHN. So it's about $16.50 per share. Based in the US. It's in the regional banks industry, and it provides financial services through its subsidiary, which is the First Tennessee Bank National Association, and has 4 segments, which are regional banking, fixed income, corporate, and non-strategic. Its current dividend yield is 5.6%, and it pays a quarterly dividend. This was an ordinary payment of 12 cents per share, which is the first I've received from them. Quarterly net income is $53.81 million, and annually is $440.9 million. Its quarterly debt to assets is about 90%, and annually is about 89%, pretty much the same. And its annual cash flow from operating is $830 million. From investing is negative $2.39 billion, and from financing is $1.42 billion. Next is Atrium European Real Estate Limited. Ticker symbol is ATRS. So it's about €3 per share at the moment, and it's based in Jersey in the UK. It's in the real estate operations industry, and it's an owner, operator and developer of shopping centres in Central and Eastern Europe. And it has two segments, which are a standing investment segment and a development segment. Current dividend yield is 8.5%, but it does have a negative earnings per share at the moment and no PE ratio given. So it pays a quarterly dividend. An ordinary payment is 7 cents per share, but this was a return of capital of 6 cents per share. Its quarterly profit margin is about 23%, and annually is negative 73%. Its quarterly debt to assets is 43.5%, and annually is about 46%. And its annual cash flow from operating is about €46 million. From investing is about €50 million, and from financing is negative €165.2 million. Next is a monthly paying stock, Dynex Capital Incorporated. Ticker symbol is DX. It's about $17.50 per share at the moment. Looks to have consolidated after a bit of a dip. It's been hanging around this price for a couple of months now. So it's in the miscellaneous financial services industry, and it's an internally managed mortgage real estate investment trust, and it invests in residential and commercial mortgage securities on a leverage basis. Its objective is to provide attractive risk-adjusted returns to its shareholders over the long term that's reflective of a leveraged fixed income portfolio with a focus on capital preservation. Its current dividend yield is 9.7%, but it has a pretty heavily red earnings per share, negative $7 per share. So it pays a monthly dividend, and this was for 11 cents per share, an ordinary payment, and it's the same as the previous one. Its quarterly profit margin is almost 1,000%. It's 981%, but over the last year is negative about 90%. Its quarterly debt to assets is 85%, and annually is about 89%. And its annual cash flow from operating is $175.3 million. From investing is negative $1.6 billion, and from financing is $1.47 billion. The next dividend payer is Allstate Corporation. Ticker symbol is ALL. So it's based in the US. It's $128 per share at the moment, and it's in the insurance industry, property and casualty. So its business is conducted principally through Allstate Insurance Company, Allstate Life Insurance Company and other subsidiaries, but it's engaged in the property casualty insurance business and the life insurance, accident and health insurance and protection plans that cover the electronic devices and personal identities. Its current dividend yield is 2.4%, has a very healthy earnings per share at the moment, and it pays a dividend every quarter. This was for 68 cents per share, and it was the first one that I've received from them. Its quarterly net income is $1.25 billion, and annually is about $4.85 billion. Its quarterly debt to assets is about 78%, and annually is about the same. And its annual cash flow from operating is $5.13 billion. From investing is negative $2.81 billion, and from financing is negative $2.48 billion. Next is automatic data processing. Ticker symbol is ADP. It's about $200 per share at the moment. It's in the business services industry based in the USA, and it's a provider of cloud-based human capital management solutions to employers offering solutions to businesses of various sizes. And its segments include employer services and professional employer organization services. Current dividend yield of 1.79%. Pays a dividend every quarter. And this was an ordinary payment of 79 cents per share, which is the same as the previous one. Its quarterly profit margin is about 20%, and annually is about 17%. Quarterly debt to assets is about 90%, and annually is about 88%. And its annual cash flow from operating is about 3.09 billion. From investing is 3.5 billion in the negative, and from financing is $6.44 billion. Next is Admiral Group, which actually paid me twice. Ticker symbol is ADM, based in the UK. It's about £31.53 per share, and looks like it's fallen off a bit of a peak recently. Yeah. Sorry, it's in the insurance industry, and it's a UK-based financial services company that's engaged in offering motor insurance, household insurance, travel insurance, and lending products. Has 4 segments, which are UK insurance, international insurance, Admiral loans, and other. The other segment includes Compare.com, the US comparison business, and Admiral Pioneer. So its current dividend yield is 4.14%, and it pays a dividend every quarter. So it paid an ordinary dividend of 87.9 pence per share, which was the first that I've received, and it also paid a bonus dividend of 73.1 pence per share, which is also the first bonus I've received from them. Its quarterly net income is £807.6 million, and annually is £528.8 million. Has a quarterly debt to assets of about 80%, and annually is about 85, closer to 86%. And its annual cash flow from operating is £608.8 million. From investing is negative £43 million, and from financing is negative £498 million. Next is Total Energies. Ticker symbol is TTE. So it's a French dividend stock. It's about €43 per share at the moment. It's shot up quite a bit since the 20th of September. Looking well. So based in Paris, and it's an oil and gas operations industry stock. It operates in 4 segments, which include exploration and production, gas, renewables and power, refining and chemicals, and marketing and services. Its current dividend yield is 7%, and it pays a dividend every quarter. This was an ordinary payment of 48 cents per share, which is down a bit from the previous 49 cents per share. Has a quarterly profit margin of 5%, and annually is negative 6%. Quarterly debt to assets is about 60%, and annually is about 61%. And its annual cash flow from operating is €14.8 billion. From investing is negative €13.08 billion, and from financing is €1.4 billion. Now, third from the end, we have Kimberly-Clark. Ticker symbol is KMB. It's based in the US. It's about $132 per share at the moment. And it's in the consumer non-cyclical sector in the personal and household products industry. And it's engaged in manufacturing and marketing of a range of products made from natural or synthetic fibers, using technologies in fibers, non-wovens, and absorbency. So it has segments including personal care, consumer tissue, and KC professional. So things like swim pants, baby wipes, feminine and incontinence care products, training and youth pants, diapers, paper towels, napkins. Dividend yield is 3.3%. Has a nice earnings per share at the moment. And it pays a dividend every quarter. This was for 96 cents per share, which is down a bit from the previous 97 cents per share. Quarterly profit margin is 8.5%, and annually is about 12%. Its quarterly debt to assets is 97%, and annually is 96%. And its annual cash flow from operating is $3.73 billion, from investing is negative $2.31 billion, and from financing is negative $1.57 billion. Second last, we have Logitech International. Ticker symbol is LOGI. So it's a Swiss company, but I think it's on the American markets. It's on quite a bit of a long-term downtrend. It's been bleeding recently. I'm down 20%. So it's based in Switzerland, and it's in the computer peripherals industry of the technology sector. It designs, manufactures, and markets products that allow people to connect through music, gaming, video, computing, and other digital platforms. Has a pretty low dividend yield of 0.9%, and it pays an annual dividend. But this, I've never received an ordinary dividend from them, but this was a return of capital of 61 cents per share. Has a quarterly profit margin of about 23%, and annually is about 18%. Has a quarterly debt to assets of about 45%, and annually is about the same. And its annual cash flow from operating is $1.46 billion. From investing is about $120 million in the negative, and from financing is about $300 million also in the negative. And the last one. The SPDR S&P US Dividend Aristocrats ETF. Ticker symbol is USDV. So at the moment it's trading for about £48 per share. It's on the London Stock Exchange, and it's an exchange traded fund of the United States Dividend Aristocrats, which I think there's Dividend Kings and Dividend Aristocrats. But aristocrats have raised their dividends consistently for, I think, 50 years. And they also have to have a market cap above, I think, 5 billion. But I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I haven't done a lot of research into the aristocrats or the kings. So, pays a dividend every quarter. And this was an ordinary dividend of 25 pence per share, which is down a bit from the previous 28 pence per share. And that's it for this one. It was another long one. And if you made it through to the end, thank you very much. But I hope that you found this useful.